G'day everyone, welcome back to Frostbite's GI JOE Repro. I've got a question for you. Can we turn a Marvel figure into a Baroness custom? It's my first time doing this, so I don't know what I'm doing. Just going to give it a go, and I thought you'd like to watch. So let's take a look. Okay, so I was down at my local Toy Mate. Love going there. Just, it's a lot of the same stuff most of the time, but occasionally they'll bring in a new line, and I know there's like a heap of dudes that also go and check the place as well. So that's why it's important that I check it pretty regularly. And so I was down there and saw this. The Invisible Woman, like Fantastic Four really doesn't spark any interest in me. I'm really not a fan. I haven't liked any of the movies. Maybe the new one will make a difference. But everything in the past, all bits of content relating or that are Fantastic Four, I don't really appreciate. I like the idea of Galactus and Silver Surfer, but the actual Fantastic Four, I'm a bit like, what the hell is this crap? So yeah, clearance table at the front of Toy Mate. It'll always have damaged stock. Saw this there, $23 down from $25. Whatevs. If I had seen this for $25, I probably still would have grabbed it. The 6-inch Invisible Woman. Now, like I said, not a fan of Fantastic Four, but I thought to myself, what if we made this Sue Storm into a Baroness? And I thought, for that price, why the hell not? Like, why not just give it a go? I wouldn't really want this character in my collection. So I thought, for, $20 or something, give a bit of painting a go, a bit of customizing. I don't do customizing. I'm not overly good at it. It's one of these funny things, like customizing, in my opinion, takes like a different set of imagination than doing some other things. Like, I have a lot of fun thinking about what videos I want to make and what I want to talk about. But if I think about customizing a figure, my brain just goes blank, and I find it a little bit difficult to think about. But this one's easy, right? Like, because customizing a Baroness is just black with probably some red trimmings. I don't have any water slides to do the Cobra symbol, so I'm just not going to worry about that. Just more to paint this up and see what it sort of looks like. Now, as far as figures go, like, to do this custom, I think it's the wrong face sculpt anyway. So that sort of screwed me straight from the start. And the hands are a problem as well. It's the hands they give you get fists, and then you get these things, which are sort of her in the picture there doing the mental blast or whatever it is. So I don't know. I sort of felt like I had some barricades up against me straight away. But once again, refer back to point one of, it's cheap as it's hell to start off with. So let's just give it a go. Gives me a good excuse to break open this packaging. And it gives me a good excuse just to have a bit of practice in customizing. You guys that have done more customs, let me know, is it still customizing if I'm just painting it black? Another of my things that I was a bit worried about is, will the paint I use stick fine, and will it look okay? Because I know, like, I've got enough painting experience to know that depending on what you are actually painting, like the surface, it may not look good at all. And then that will just leave me with some wrecked figure. As far as the figures and the packaging itself goes, it is reasonably impressive what they've done with these things. And, like the price point, I don't think this would have been $25. Toy Made to us is a bit of a toy clearance place. I've heard people refer to it as where toys go to die. So I'd say this thing would have been $40 because I think that's about the standard price for these mocked figures. But yeah, it's a really nice figure, really displayed well. I don't think there's anything really special about them. Yeah, it's this is really just going to suit the purpose of what I want to do with it. So let's get her open. And, for $2, it's funny, like they say the slide box damage. If this, when you're a collector, this, what they call slide box damage is not slide. That's all up there. But, for people selling toys, this is perfectly fine for someone to get for their kid, and the kid just rips it open and plays with it. But I don't think they're making these for kids. So it's that funny thing, right? I do sort of know, I go to Toy Mart enough. I know the lady that works there, the older lady, and they don't sort of put a lot of discounts through on stuff. I think they're, obviously for a place where toys seemingly go to die, I think they're putting enough of a discount on some stuff that they can't discount it any further. Funnily enough, some of the stuff they sell there, though, you're like, how did you get that price, mate? Because that sort of doesn't seem right at all. But yeah, someone really went to town on this. I don't know, like, you can't get to this point without really giving it a go. Feels fun just to rip the crappers out of that. So that's gone. The rest of that's gone. And now we've got our Sue stall. Now that I've got it out of the packaging, it's a lot nicer figure. I don't even see how I would use that. So yeah, that's just a piece of rubbish effectively now. That's probably what I'll use with her. This is so funny. Sitting in the plastic, I was like, man, this figure's nothing too special. And then I took the top off and I'm like, oh yeah, this figure's not too bad. Now that I've actually got it out of the packaging, I'm like, this is reasonably nice figure. Sort of the other reason I picked this for the Baroness was, A, because, I've just got to really paint that hair. And B, there's nothing weird about the sculpt. So Baroness is just in a black bodysuit. And this is exactly what this is. So I was right in that way that I think this is just going to should be relatively easy to paint. Let's see if this head sculpt comes off. It should. There we go. I'm going to need this off because there's no way that I would be able to paint this effectively with it on. So I thought best thing to do is get it off, try and get this hair painted, and then I reckon what I'm going to do is this area that's white up here, I might look to try and do that as the skin color. I don't know. Have a quick think about that. But everything else is just going to be painted black. Bit of Rolling Stones action, just paint it black. Now, got that head there. Weirdly, I had this pop along in one of the toy lots I cut a while back. And I didn't know exactly what it was, but all I saw were these sort of fangs coming down. And I thought, this looks like it could be GI Joe. And then I think it was about 2 months later or something, I ended up picking up the Cobra Baroness set and realizing exactly where this comes from. And this is the Baroness's motorbike helmet. So, yeah, I was sort of weirdly happy that I had that. This is all Marvel stuff. So, this might just fit. Okay. So, looks like it goes fine with it. Almost looks a bit like a bit of a Power Ranger. All right. Let's get him off. Now that we've opened that, like that's just going in the bin. That's no good for anyone. Pull this aside. And let's get my painting gear out. Okay. So here we are. I've taken the hands off for easy access. Got my paintbrushes. I just want to stay right from the start. I'm definitely not an expert at this. I just wanted to give it a go. It's just a bit of a fun thing for me to do on a Saturday afternoon. So I've got a bit of a wide brush there and then a bit of a finer brush to do some detail. So I think what we might look at doing is let's do this head first, I think. The more I look at this, it is really nice. And I think if you're going to get someone to be Baroness, like the hair on this is really nice. So let's get some paint on. Let's just dig right in, eh? That's the best way to do it is just to get in. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to muff this anyway, but it's a $20 muff rather than some expensive figure. These are the paints I use. If you're interested, they're just the Citadel ones you buy them from the Warhammer shops. They're about 6 or 7 Australian each, so maybe like $5 American. I just find them nice. I'm just really happy with them, and I've always been happy with them. So yeah, always give it a good shake. I probably could have worn something that's not white. Wearing a white shirt, that's terrific. Good plan in there. So what I reckon is I'm going to start by getting some of this detail around the face, because I want to keep that face that color. So we'll do the detail around there, and then we can just hit it with a bigger brush. And if you're sitting at home right now watching this thinking, bro, I can never do that. I can let you know this is quietly terrifying me, even though I know it's a cheap figure, but I guess the fact that I'm sharing this with you so you can see if I make mistakes, that sort of terrifies me a little bit. also, like, I don't really know how this is going to look all black. I'm going to do her hands in like a bit of a skin color just to offset all the black. I'm sorry if I stop talking as well. I'm a male, so I can only concentrate on one thing at a time, right? So yeah, even though I've just told you this terrifies me, if you have an inkling of wanting to give this a go, please use this video as motivation that any numpty can at least give it a go. May not come out good the first time, but the more you practice, the more you will get better at this. I've learned lots of things doing my 3D printing and YouTube journey. Lots of skills that before I started all this, I probably would not have even looked a second time at it because it would have just scared the crap out of me. And I wanted to do this on video too, not not because I needed the content, but I wanted to share this with you guys. What use is doing some of this stuff if you just can't share? This, apparent toy community that we sit in, there's some really beautiful people out there that just want to share. And I really appreciate that. That's just got a bit of a side lick there. It's always these little details, like you can see under here. I need to get under there. It's not looking too bad. Okay, so let's wash that off and dry. And then get this bad boy. So when I talk about sharing this stuff as well, like I sort of think if I can do this, you can do this. I am not an expert. I think it's a cool thing. Like if you see these, really any of these figures sitting around cheap, like at Ross's in the States or here in Australia or at EB or wherever, and you think it might be good for, one particular figure, give it a go. Use this as your motivation that anyone can do this, or at least anyone can give it a go. It's actually not looking too bad. Another good thing about this paint is it dries real quick, like 30 seconds or something, and it's pretty much done. Let's see. Oh, shit. There you go. First calamity. Always the way, right? So when I mentioned before that I am no expert, that's pretty much the demo, the straight up demo of that. Get some more water onto it. Okay. I think I managed to avoid that shit fight. At least to a standard I'm happy with. Just remember, this is all your standard. This is for you, and unless you're selling these, like it's not for anyone else. So as long as you're happy with these things. Now, I am not putting that back on that bloody pen again. It's pretty much dry now. That's how good this paint is. It dries super quick, but I'm still able to get that mess off. Still causes a bit of a ball terror moment though, where like, oh God, what have I done? We might just let that dry a little bit, and we'll do a bit of the figure. So let's try these legs. It's something this is going exactly how I thought it would. Like, this material is really glossy, so the paint's having a bit of trouble sticking to it. There's one thing I've learned with painting is don't be afraid to do multiple layers. And I think that's what's going to happen here is it's going to be a whole bunch of apply, 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 and apply. Let me know in the comments, are you a customizer? I know a couple of custom guys in the community. Some of these dudes that do stuff are pretty amazing. I find it all very daunting. That's why, doing basic level stuff like this, that's okay for me. It feels like a bit of a bit of a draw to people. Like, I feel like some of the customizers in the community, it's almost like they need to do it. Like, it's their artistic outlet. And that's absolutely fantastic. This paint is putting a really nice finish on this. A lot better than I thought it would. The other thing is too, like, it's one thing to have a Sue Storm in your collection, but as a Joe guy, you can do something like this and then look at it every day and go, like, I actually did that. And that's sort of the feeling I get from the customizers is, I've seen a couple of customizers show off their stuff and you can just sense that real, like, sense of pride that they've just made something amazing, and rightfully so. Like, I get that feeling when I do my 3D printing stuff. It's a real sense of, like, I couldn't have done that 12 months ago. Oh my God, it's just makes me so happy. And I think that'll be what these customizer guys feel. Tony's Figs, seeing some of his stuff, and I've been like, Jesus Christ, how did you do that? I imagine, though, that you'd have to have quite the stock of parts. So I don't know how people go about like that, like where you're storing all these classified figures. Do you just have like almost a dump of figures sitting there? This paint, really impressed by this paint. I have used the Tamiya stuff in the past, but I found it gets really gluggy. Um, I think because this one's a water-based paint, I believe. So I think it's a lot more forgiving. Whereas that Tamiya stuff, I've always felt like it's dangerous using it. As in, don't mess it up. You got to go to a bit of extra effort to clean your paintbrushes, that kind of thing. Whereas with this Warhammer paint, I always feel happy when I'm using it. Like nothing much can go too wrong. You could almost do a bloody venomized version or venom version of this. Like paint this all black, keep the 4 in there, and then you know have some kind of, I don't know, give her the black hair like that, and still call it Sue Storm. Don't tell me I'm starting to think of ideas, right? There's the 4. Any customizers watching this video, if you see me doing something a bit longer, just let me know. I'd love to get some tips off you guys. I have a feeling the best way to get good at this, though, is just to make more. Just layer and layer. It's real basic. I'm looking to add some red trimming once we've gotten all this done. And we'll do the hands as well. Another thing about this paint is it's reasonably light. Because it's meant to be used with Warhammer, it's not a heavy paint. It's I've learnt with this paint, just paint something and then put that down and then paint another thing. And by the time you come back to that first thing, it should be dry. You can still see that blue tinge, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Just shows you, like, when you paint over this, it shows you how basic this figure was in the first place. All right. So we've done the hips. So now we try these knees. See there? On feet. I feel like that hair come out real nice. But we'll go over it some more. Yeah, up in this top area. I'm just going to leave the ball joint white, because that's the connector piece and therefore doesn't need to be painted. You're never going to see that joint. There you go. That's looking pretty good. So let's finish up with the black. Always important to clean your brushes. All right, I've just done a quick refresh of the water. Both of those are looking pretty good. So now we're going to start looking. I'll fix that up. I want to do the hands next. I actually still don't know whether it's going to be fists or these weird outstretched hands. I don't really see any use in these hands. I don't know. I don't know. So what we're going to do is that's no, what to do with that. I don't. They're sort of the skin colors that I have, and the other ones being maybe that's a bit closer. Yeah, this one. Well, let's do some hands. I wonder if we need to do them at all. Because no, we can't really help. Can't have bloody white gloves on the Baroness. And this is all a bit of an experiment as well. Like just saying, you know, do I have flesh-colored hands or should she just have black? Because I didn't want this whole thing to be black. It just didn't seem right. So I wanted a couple of colors to offset as well. I'm still laughing at that. Putting her head on the pen and tanning it and just getting a wallop on the face. Okay. So that's one hand. Some bloody spot. It's one hand done. I much prefer the idea of having these as sort of skin colored rather than going all black. To me, like I said, I know bugger all about customizing, but to me, you need to offset colors with other colors to sort of bring attention to what you're trying to do. Customizers, let me know in the comments if that makes sense and may be correct. It could be just spinning shit. Who knows? If you're looking getting into painting, one of the best bits of advice I got, because these paints are bloody, they're not cheap, and it's good to have a whole bunch of them. But the best bit of advice that I've heard is buy them as you need them. Don't go out and just buy 20 different colors because you may end up not ever using those colors. So sort of come up with a project first and then go down the shop and get the colors that you need. It's a really nice skin color. Okay, that looks like a little bit more. Okay, wash the brush out. Yeah, put that away. If you're interested, that is Layer Cadian Flesh Tone. That was real nice. I enjoyed putting that on. All right, so let's do those black tones up the top. I have to do them underneath as well. Oh yeah, damn. I mean, a lot of these areas as well, it's really relying on how you're going to pose this figure. If you never pose your figure sitting like that, then, you may not even need to worry about it. I'd say it's more of an OCD thing of making sure you get everything. Okay. I'm happy with that. So let's wash brush. Let's see, black. All right. Now, my thing is some of these bits of red. Where should we put that? Interestingly, like with the belt that she had on, I was thinking of doing that, but I thought it'd show up, but it really hasn't. Let's go. This bloody black, it's killing me. Let's get this. Really is just a perfection thing. While I'm spending a bit of time with you guys, why not do it? It'd be the same for those boots for sure. Okay. Yeah, that's the one. There we go. Hopefully that's it. Washes brush for the 5th time. All right. LA black. I think probably like something I wanted to do was give us some Manolos. I think they're Manolos, which is the shoes that, or the high heels that chicks wear. And they have a red bottom on them. And apparently expensive as. So it sort of seemed to me that if anyone was going to have shoes like that, it's the Baroness. It was pretty easy. I think that might be it, boys. Let's put this together. Now that's it's a nice look on top. Let's just get him on. Bit of a Baroness motorbike rider look. It's good because I've got that helmet. That helmet's spare anyway to my needs. So, um, I can just keep it with this figure anyway. So that's what that looks like with the helmet and her Manolos. I think that's actually pretty sweet. This has come out a lot better than I thought it was going to. Except for those bloody blue parts. Okay, once again, let's do some black. Actually, let me just get this other head on first. So that looks really cool. I think these hands have come out really well. So let's try the head. What's happened there? So got a bit of like a bit of paint come off or something. So I'll need to touch that up. But in terms of the figure, what do you reckon? I think it's come out bloody great, apart from that bloody blue. We used a real fine toothbrush and touch up those bits. Not a big deal. That. So I'm going to pull that head off. It's like a big area in there that I've missed. Thankfully, this is really bendy rubber. So it's allowing me to just pull that away and get it painted. Just do the two. In the back. Uh, oh yeah, I gotta watch that. That's it's just not happy in general. It's because of this material that the figure's made of. It looks like it needs some real decent time to dry. But all in all, that's the figure. That's my new Baroness. So let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you're a customizer and I've just done a crap job. I had a lot of fun doing that. It's very calming. I find it very calming doing painting. And it was just a fun activity. And now I've got, a bit of a cool custom Baroness that I have done. There you go. Gemma. That bloody area in there. But yeah, let me know what you think. I had a lot of fun doing this and a lot of fun showing you through this. Let me know in the comments what you thought. If you're not currently subscribed, hit that sub button. Do a heap of Joe content. Have a think about my channel membership. For about $1.60 US a month, you get to see 2 to 3 extra videos a week. And they're generally on whatever toys come into the house. So not just Joe's. But yeah, thanks so much for watching up until this point. And until the next video, stay frosty.